Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nclex and I'm really glad to have everybody here with me today. So just like the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about the steps and process you need to get licensed in the United States, even though you are foreign educated or you basically schooled outside the country. So during the course of this video, I'm going to make lots of references to Nigeria or to Africa, and that's because I'm actually a Nigerian who's been living in the United States for about 3 years now, and also who's schooled back in Nigeria. So if you're not yet subscribed, I'll shamelessly ask that you click the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and it's free of charge, I have to say, so it doesn't cost you anything. I'll really appreciate that. A quick disclaimer, I want to say that this process is a process I've seen like really close friends go through, but personally I didn't go through this process because I did go to my nursing school in the United States and I'm currently still going through that. So if you're new here, I'm a licensed practical nurse, I'm a mom, and I'm also a student who's currently working towards getting her RN degree. This video is in response to some of the questions I got in regards to one of the videos I made where I talked about my licensed practical nursing program and pretty much how I was able to become licensed and a nurse in 10 months. So I'm hoping this video is going to help one or two people out there, and hopefully, you know, it would answer some of the questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I had to do extensive research, and also my friends helped me fill some of the blanks in regards to the whole process and what they did, how they did it, and the duration and everything. So the first thing first I have to say is, as a person who's interested in moving to another country or who's interested in practicing as a nurse in the United States, even if you didn't school here, I want to say you have to do your own personal research. You have to like find your information and whatnot. I know as Nigerians sometimes we tend to want to sit back and get everything handed to us. It doesn't always work that way. It's particularly important in this case that you do your research, because in all honesty, things are quite different in the United States as to back home in terms of how like things are operated here. So I'm gonna give an example of what I mean. So say for instance you have a friend who got licensed in Maryland and you want to get licensed in a different state, say for instance Delaware. Do not just sit back and be like, oh, your friend got licensed in Maryland, so you're pretty good as to what is needed. This is because though it's the same country, every state sometimes needs something different in order to be licensed in that state as a nurse. So I'm gonna run through the quick steps through the process, and I'm hoping that this would be a good starting point for you and point you in the right direction as to how to become licensed in the United States. So one of the very important tools you have to put in your pocket is the cgfns.org website. So pretty much this is an evaluation website or an evaluating website that tells you everything you need to know about the entire steps, the entire process, and all that. As a foreign trained, as a Nigerian trained nurse, this is one of the very things you want to take into consideration. This is one of the very tools you are going to find useful. Make use of it. Do your research. Go on there. Like, it's pretty much lays out everything like so easily that all you have to do is basically follow it. So another thing I have to say too is, on your own end, you want to make sure that your school and your program is accredited. I'm stressing this because I know back home lots of schools pop up and then they begin to admit students into the programs, and midway through your program it's not surprising to find that your course is not even accredited, or like your program is not even accredited, you know. So this is what you want to take into consideration. Is your school, is your program accredited? Is it recognized by the government? Is it recognized by the nursing body or the regulatory body back in your country? this is really important. So another thing too is when you make sure your school is accredited, your program is accredited, you've done your research and decided which state you want to be licensed in the United States, the next thing you want to do is start working towards the requirements. Now, I say this because I know that aside from the general requirements, such as you have to have graduated and you have to have a nursing degree or certificate, different states have slight differences as to what they need. Some states might require that you have an English test done. Some states might require that you take like an additional course or whatnot. So you want to find out what you need or what the state needs, and you begin to work towards it. For those who require English tests, there are quite a lot out there. There's a TOEFL, there's an IELTS, and for the most part, when you're taking the IELTS, you want to work towards getting a 7 or above to be in a good spot. And otherwise, if you don't want to do that, there are so many others. I think there is a one called the Pearson English test, if I'm not mistaken. Just do your research and decide what works for you, what is available where you are, and then go ahead and take the test if your state requires it. Now that we're done with the test, I want to point out that this process is not like an overnight process. It does take time. Sometimes it takes as much as a year, sometimes more, sometimes less. So you want to be patient, and I know sometimes we're always like in a rush, we want things to get done and whatnot, but just like go with the flow, go with the process, let everything be done how it's supposed to be done. And in all honesty, you can't even like fast forward or change things even if you wanted to. It's a process, so you just have to go with it. Like honestly, I did school like in the United States, I wrote my Nclex here, and as crazy as it sounded, I had to wait 7 days to get my results, when so many other people got their results like in 2 days or less. Where I'm coming from is sometimes process does take time, so you have to be patient and just hopefully do what you have to do on your end. I want to say that during this time you're waiting for your results to be evaluated, for your degrees to be evaluated and whatnot, you could start studying for your Nclex. So that brings me to the next point, which is what is an Nclex. So with every country is different, but in the United States here, in order for you to be licensed as a nurse, you have to write the Nclex test or exams, and you have to pass it. You can graduate from a nursing degree that took you like 5 years or more, or 4 years or 3 years, whatever time it took you to get your degree. You are not recognized as a nurse, or you are not allowed to practice as a nurse in the United States until you write the Nclex exam and you pass the exam. So basically, the Nclex exam is a national test that every nursing graduate has to take, has to pass in order to become licensed. Basically, it's a national exam everybody has to take to satisfy the requirements to be licensed in the country. And after your degree is evaluated and pretty much you've met the requirements of your board of nursing in the states you so desire, if that's satisfied, the next thing you do is you get the ATT. Now, when you get the ATT, it's like, okay, you're halfway there or you're almost there. It's a really good thing because it simply means now you can schedule your test. So you can schedule your Nclex. All right. So once you have your ATT, you go into the Pearson VUE website and you schedule your tests or you schedule your exams. But you're done, at least almost done, because it simply means all you have to do now is to take the Nclex, and hopefully you pass the Nclex and you are a licensed nurse in the United States. Like, how beautiful is that? So I think that's pretty much all there is to it. It might sound complicated and maybe time consuming, but I always love to say good things does take time, So this is pretty much the process. And if you thinking about going through this route, or if you watched up to this and have a video where I talked about how I prepared for my Nclex exam, what I used, the resources and all, and how I was able to do this in just 2 weeks, or with just 2 weeks of preparation, and I passed. So if you are thinking of this, or you're preparing for the Nclex at this point, you want to take a look at that video. It might be helpful. I'm going to put the link right here. And before I go, I want to say, for those who might be watching this video and also you're still back home, you're not in the United States yet, but you're interested in like coming over here and practicing as a licensed nurse, of course you're gonna need a visa, so that's something you definitely want to look into. But otherwise, if you are foreign trained and you're in the United States already, these steps I laid out are what you need to do in order to be licensed here. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate. And if you're not yet subscribed at this point, like, come on, it's free, you know, help me out here. Just hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you. Bye bye.